Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, amazing. I got another video. What do I have here? Well, it's not a fish tank, even though there are squids in here. What I have here are regen filters. It's an old defense, and shoot, what is it? It's December. I made this March 2014, right before the controller 5.0 reset. So, basically back then, lava flow was disabled because cannons were not good and bases were overpowered with like 4 walls and lava gen. So Vessel turned off lava flow. Not necessarily generation, but lava flow. So lava would stay like in a block like that. And yeah, there's no like walls and stuff. So I was like, well, what if I piston pushed blocks to make filters? Because I'm gonna say I came up with the idea of filters because Layan released his cannon. I was working on one. Spoobies was kind of working on one, but it was like 2 cannons. It's really difficult to explain. Abuse had a working model with Kanex and King Tundra or something like that. So people were like, cuts are the answer. Well, it's like, no, cuts aren't the answer. And then similarly, filters weren't the answer, but because the fact there was like a 2-block gap and then a block like between them and the variations of them, like people got really confused about them. So it was an interesting idea at the time. Yeah, so regen filters, kind of like regen walls with regen filters. So this is before the age of left shooting. So speaking of which, here is a really shitty version of the Get Swatted 5.0 base. 5.0 was an interesting map because I took a couple month break and basically told the faction they needed to figure out what they were going to do. So I left and lots of interesting things happened. This base was vacant, like random kids like lived in it, and then they like quit and the base was like half blown up, and then I was getting ready to start playing again and I rebuilt it all by hand. But before left shooting, our base is inside this red line. So really, most bases, I could probably go to like Nexus base. Their walls did not extend as far. These chunks, or excuse me, these walls are 4 chunks wide. The base is only a 2x2. And then what I did was I planned out regen filters here. And then waffles were kind of like corner pillars, but ideally you'd want to get rid of those because you could like scatter through diagonally with it. So not only like like left shooting wasn't a thing. So I made the regen filters. This is an older design, and you could have improved some things. And no one really knew about it. No one knew what I was doing, other than the people in my faction. So it was a pretty good secret. Plus, our base had like laggy chunks around it, even before building that. Probably because of like floating platforms in water. I know, like crazy tangents, but people could not get close to our base unless they had a really good computer, which is also part of the reason why I took a couple month break, because only like 4 people in the faction could work on the base because we had good computers, because everyone else would crash, and it kind of got burned out super fast along with life things. Maybe I'll do like old base tours and stuff in stories, I don't know. So built the regen filters. These are inside the 4 chunk wide walls, so if someone were to come and they were to shoot through these, they would surely or quickly regen back. And then in addition, this is before like one-shotting walls was a thing, so there were slab cakes under these, which were also kind of difficult to shoot. And then with filters, it made it hard because blah, 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 blah. As for why these don't necessarily have water, they did actually. We filled this with water first, and then we had them gen out. Now, the thing is, they don't go like all the way across, which is why there's 2 of them, but there's like a 4-block gap. However, we made it so there was no spawners in like that 2 or 4-block gap. So it was like corner, 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 corner. So it was not really an issue. Yeah, so basically if someone wanted to get through, they'd have to have 2 cannons, because again, no left shooting, no left shooting, no left shooting, no left shooting. They would shoot, these would regen, they would have to have a second cannon pointed here, because all of our base walls were 40 chunks wide, excuse me, 4 chunks wide. That means they had to shoot like 60 walls twice, 120 walls, and then you had to stack or slabless stack hybrid, and then if there's multiple slabs and blah 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 blah, it was a mess. So no one really had a solution to it at the beginning of the map. I think Conquer, they talked about reversing up, and basically one day I found a tunnel to my base, and this is when Conquer, AJNV, Scarbonoids, all them first joined Controller from playing Woodcraft. I found a tunnel to my base through like this. Yeah, but like it was like all the way through. I can't remember what side. And I guess we didn't have a water layer, which was really stupid. I came up with all these other ideas, but no water layer, which was shortly remedied after they tried reversing up. But basically, we kind of caught them. We found the tunnel. We patched up stuff, and they didn't have a comparator before. Whatever, it's a long joke. So basically, no one really had a solution for it. However, some other factions, they copied our design. And what they did was they had like this really buggy redstone loop that caused like lag. We used the hopper clock that didn't cause lag, and Bessel like removed every other factions but mine because mine didn't cause lag. So we had this awesome defense. No one could cannon. Funny story: the one time I got cannoned, I had them turned off because I was changing the redstone thing, and I went to bed. King Tundra cannoned it. The thing was off. Darn. Okay, so back to regen filters, like the actual thing. Cool. So we've got it here. Basically, we got the wiring going up the back. The lava flows down, or the water flows over, turning into stone or cobble. As you can see, there's like a mix. Also, Merry Christmas, red and green. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy whatever. It's December. Hope you guys are getting ready to study for finals, because this is what I'm not doing. Cool. So you want to have like a clock or something. This is just some really goofy comparator system I set up for no reason at all. But you want to have it extended for a while, and then not extended for a while. So we'll watch this real quick. It discharges, and boom. So it's charging, and it's moving. So this is kind of cool. Here, you can kind of see the piston going back. Stuff is genning. So yeah, like nothing too super exciting, I guess, you know. Cool. So this is finished genning out all the way. And okay, whatever. Yeah. So I'm missing like lava or something up here, which is why this is going to keep moving. But once it extends out all the way, this is going to keep going. So it's always going to keep going, as I just said. And the pistons will stop moving eventually. What you could do is you could like hook up a thing to a blood switch, and then, or I guess that's what it's called. And you have like a sand wall, and then when the sand wall breaks in any spot around the base, it sends a thing, and then it starts this, so it automatically regens, so it's not going on all the time. You could then build like the wall back here, or you can like make it one further and like make it like out of glowstone, so it's like really bright, so the lighting doesn't do anything bad. Anyways, so let me drain this. And shit, what am I gonna do with that? That was probably kind of stupid. All right, so what happens if this blows up? My bad. All right, well, this is not planned at all. So it blows up, and they start moving. So is this useful now? Maybe. Now, in order to shoot this now, like, okay, everyone has a left shooter, or everyone has a left shooting attachment. So depending on how it works and where you're shooting, you can shoot, and then you'd hit this, and you'd have it set up for left shooting instead of straight shooting. You'd shoot left, and what happens if we put a shit ton of TNT here? And as a shit ton, I'm gonna put 3. Uh-oh, it's gonna blow up. Uh-oh. Our system is broken. And then you can cannon through. So yeah, you would just left shoot it, but it's not necessarily, it's like a waste of time. Maybe you can like build like mini walls or something so it doesn't like automatically get blown up. I don't know, there's things you can do. And it's an interesting thing, especially nowadays. Like everybody builds like basically like 20 chunk wide walls like down the end of their buffer because they don't want to get left shot. And stuff like that. So if you have this like really close to the base, it could be like a nuisance like thing, especially if someone's like never like used it before or seen it before. Because really it was a short-lived thing. Controller 6.0, they had lava re-enabled, and I had made left shooting at the time, so this wasn't necessarily that big of a deal. We were going to build these, but that was also when we made EE and like everyone quit for CSGO. We had this big base, and I blew up the base and I made it 2x2 with 120 walls down the buffer along with corner pillars, and we never got raided. So I didn't need to make this. I also had plans to make this in Controller 7.0, but we decided not to make that. We decided to do like sand wraps or something like that instead, which really didn't matter at all because we got straight shot and breached in like our cobble collection room, whatever. Yeah, so maybe mess with it. I don't know, design a base. Basically, your walls are going to protect the redstone, and the way to cannon that is to left shoot and then shoot straight to destroy everything. But yeah, I guess. Bye.